really do enjoy comfort foods, and certainly as the seasons change and things get a little bit colder, it always is good to have a good comfort food. Today on Jay's World Kitchen, I'm going to show you an absolute staple of many households that's usually bought in a box. Today I'm going to show you how to make a homemade mac and cheese that is just that much better than making something that just comes out of a box. What we're going to do is we're going to start off in a saucepan such as this with about 1/4 cup of butter. And we want to make sure that all of that butter is melted, and then we're going to add in 1/4 cup of regular flour. And we're going to stir that together and make sure that we have no lumps if possible. Now you may want to use a whisk. We want to make sure that it comes together into sort of a paste like this, and we're just making a classic roux. And we're just going to actually let that cook for about 1 minute to 2 minutes, because what we're trying to do is we're actually trying to now cook the flour so that it doesn't have that flour taste. We want it to incorporate and give us a more buttery flavor. Now into that we're going to add about 1.5 cups of whole milk. I'm going to be adding them just a little bit at a time and stirring them together. Now what's going to happen is that this roux is going to solidify really quickly. And we're going to keep adding and keep stirring just to keep it nice and smooth. Now if it does get lumpy, it's not the end of the world. You can use a whisk to just try and break up those lumps. But a little at a time as we go, and you want to make sure that you're stirring as you add. And we're just doing this over a medium heat because we do want to keep that temperature up so that it continues to thicken as we add our milk. Now if you're enjoying this video, please go ahead and hit that like button. It really does help YouTube to recommend my content to viewers like you. And now we've added in our whole milk. I'm now going to add in 1 cup of heavy cream in exactly the same way, just a little bit at a time so that we don't make this completely cold. We want to keep it thickening as we go. Now if you don't have heavy cream, of course you can just add another cup of milk. And now that we've added all of that cream, you'll notice that I've switched over to a whisk for one major reason, and that is because what it does is it helps to release a little bit more steam and actually helps the sauce to thicken. Now, while your sauce is sort of thickening like this, you do want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And we're going to very briefly talk about pasta. So I'm going to be using a classic elbow pasta for this, which I have prepared ahead of time. And I have boiled 2 cups of that in a large pot with a tablespoon of salt and probably about 1 to 1.5 tablespoons of olive oil. And once that had boiled for about 10 minutes to just below al dente, that was when I strained it out. And now that this sauce has gotten quite thick and is boiling, we're going to start adding in about 2 cups of grated cheddar. Now, of course, you can mix this up, and this is wonderful because this is where you can get creative with this dish. You can add in any cheese you like. I recommend either a nice sharp cheddar as well as a Gruyere. Those two combined are really, really good. But we're going to add just a sort of half a handful at a time, because what we want to do is we want to make sure that this cheese melts really well. Now I have turned down the heat slightly, and you want to do the same because you don't necessarily want to burn the cheese and you don't want it to get sort of hard. Now into this we're going to add some salt, and I'm just doing a generous pinch there. You really do want that to help bring out that wonderful cheddar flavor, and we're going to add in some freshly ground black pepper. I also just like to take a quick moment to say a special thank you to my friends at Trifecta Electrical for this wonderful gift of this great pepper grinder from his friends at Olson Fine Woodworking. Now, of course, both salt and pepper are to taste. I like mine with a little bit of a pepper bite to it. Mix that in really well, and then we're going to remove it from the heat. And now comes the fun part of putting this together. We're going to start off in sort of a medium bowl like this, and this is my 2 cups of cooked pasta, which obviously is expanded considerably. And like I said, it's just a little bit under al dente. It's got a little ways to go, but that's okay. Now into that, we're going to add our beautiful cheese sauce. And we're simply going to mix those together really well. Now, if you're enjoying my content, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to turn on the notifications so that you know when my next video drops. Now, what we're going to do is you have 2 options. You can either serve it, of course, exactly like this, with just some grated cheddar on top. Or we can do what I'm going to do, and that is put this into a casserole dish, and we're going to put a topping on it, and then we're going to bake it in that preheated oven. Now, to make a nice crispy topping on this, we're going to take 1 cup of panko crumbs like this, and into that I'm adding 1/4 cup of Parmesan and 1/4 teaspoon of paprika. We're just going to quickly mix those up. Into that, we're then going to add 4 tablespoons of melted butter. And we're just going to sprinkle that nicely across our entire casserole dish. And now we're going to pop that into our preheated 350 Fahrenheit oven to bake for about 30 minutes. Now, of course, this smells absolutely wonderful once it came out the oven, and I loved how it was just bubbling away. What I really do like about this dish is how you can make this your own. You can add as much cheese in here as you want to add, and you can add whatever cheese that you really like into this. I'm really dying to give this a taste, but before I do, I'd like to give a quick shout out and a special thank you to all of my supporters on Patreon. Without their support financially, this channel would absolutely not be possible. If you'd like to find out more about Patreon and how you can help support this channel from as little as $5 a month, please click on that Patreon link down below in the comment section. Now, let's give this a try. Now, that is everything that you want in a mac and cheese. The bold cheddar flavor is in there. It's nice, sharp, older cheddar that I used. I could probably have added a little bit more pepper because I can just taste it in there, but I'd like it a little bit stronger. The crust on the top, that breadcrumb with the Parmesan and the butter and the paprika, is just absolutely perfect. I really love this dish. I love that it's inexpensive. I love that it's so quick and so easy, and it's an absolute classic. You've got to try this, and if you do, I would love to hear from you in the comment section below how this turned out for you and what you add to your mac and cheese to make it absolutely unique to you. Now, if you'd like to see some more of my content, you can follow me on all of my social media, and those links are below in the comment section as well. And if you'd like to try some more of my main course dishes, you can click on this playlist right here. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, happy eating.